What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, April 9th, 2019. I hope you're doing well. So if you didn't see last night's live stream, it was a bearish case scenario for both Bitcoin and Litecoin, extremely overbought. A lot of the charts tell us that we're potentially going down, right? And it would be kind of a healthy consolidation. So that was last night's live stream. If you didn't see it, go check it out. So tonight, I figured I'm going to do a bullish case. I know there's some people that think that Bitcoin, Litecoin are going to continue going up. And so there are some things on the charts that suggest that it could keep going up. And I want to look at those things. We're going to dig into those things a little bit on the charts. If you're a replay viewer, you can go right to the timestamp in the comment below, the pinned timestamps. And you can go right to that part of the video if you want. I'll put it down there for you. And Thornton Plumbing says another leg up. And that's really what we're going to be talking about in this video. A leg up. What might that look like? And to put a little clue out there, $110 would be my target, which we've talked about on this channel anyway before. And there's some context to the charts that would suggest that it's a possibility. Obviously, anything's a possibility in crypto, but we're really going to look at it in this video. So what I want to do before I jump into the charts is I just want to kind of go over a tweet. I just tweeted a little bit ago, a few hours ago, and I said Litecoin hash rate breaks all-time high, because that's what happened to everybody. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you're on Twitter. I don't know if you track this stuff, I'm not looking at Litecoin hash rate every day, but I was reading something and I was like, let me go look at the hash rate chart. And I go, and it just happened. We can look at it. And I said, welcome to the most secure Litecoin network of all time. Welcome. That's the world we live in. It is true. The most secure Litecoin network of all time. I want to make sure you can see my screen when I pull this up. But there we go. I didn't think you'd be able to. You can't even see the all-time high piece of the chart. So I'm going to zoom in. It's all the way at the side of the screen. The link is in the description if you want to go check it out on your own browser. But it's there, I promise you. There's all-time high. I'm zooming in. You can see it now on the side of my screen. That's all-time high. That's what it looks like right above my head here. And if you look at the chart zoomed out, you can see the previous all-time high was back in, what was that, June? End of May? Back in the end of May of 2018. So we've had a beautiful uptrend since December, obviously, both in price and if you look at the charts, hash rate. If we zoom out all time, I want to point this out because I saw a comment. I think it was Rob. I know I saw somebody comment about this. Where was that? I don't remember. But I really thought I saw Rob D post a comment about FOMOing in with price. I'm going to go find it. Is Rob here? Here we go. What was this on? Here we go. Having FOMO, Rob said, in relation to Litecoin hash rate. I thought that was an interesting thing to look at, because if we actually look at, well, what happened the last halving, right? It's always what we do is revisit what happened last time. Does it have anything to do with that last run that we always talk about on this channel? I think it annoys some people, but back in May, right? 2015, leading up to that halving in 2015. What was hash rate doing at that time? And if you take just a simple glance at the charts in May of 2015, it definitely wasn't doing anything crazy. It was actually very sideways hash rate, January 2015, all the way to like almost January 2017 for almost 2 years. So hash rate wasn't doing anything crazy. And this is the one thing, right? Well, not one thing, there's many things, but this is one really important thing that Litecoin's doing, diverging away from past, right? Past moves. And that is to say the hash rate, if you look at what has happened really starting in December, but even more so most recently, just December of this past year, not only 2017, but December of 2017 leading into December 2018 leading into 2019, Litecoin has made a move, and you can see it on the 6-month chart, right? There it is. And so that is something that didn't happen. That is something that didn't happen in terms of this move last time. So it's really interesting, and really what it speaks to is how much Litecoin network is growing and how good Litecoin is doing right now in terms of its growth. So I want to do this. Because I don't sit around thinking about hash rate all day. There are many in cryptocurrency. I'm sure some leaders, tech leaders on Twitter that you might follow that do sit around thinking about hash rate all day. And I'm sure many of you don't sit around thinking and talking about hash rate either. So there are many that probably don't even really know what hash rate is. So I'm going to read, the link to this is in the description, but it's just a very simple explanation. I'm just going to breeze through it real quick so we have some context, so we can really understand what's going on. I don't think it's very, it's not the most important thing, right? If you don't want to understand these things, you don't have to. The technology will be at a point where you don't have to, right? Do you understand how your car works? Do you understand exactly how your air conditioner works? I know Rob D understands, but you don't have to understand these things as they become every day, but it is good to know. So a network's hash rate is the most important data point in blockchain tech, and this is in regards to Bitcoin. It indicates but you can apply this to Litecoin, some small differences. It indicates to the world how secure its network is. The hash rate is the bridge between the analog world and the digital world. Essentially, the hash rate describes how much computing power, called hashing power in the blockchain speak, is being thrown at the network by users all across the world. These miners are running servers with dedicated processing chips to solve random cryptographic math problems. The reason miners do this, constant computing, is that it betters their chances to reap a block reward. That's pretty simple. Both of these are typically paid out with each new block, which in Bitcoin's case is about every 10 minutes. Litecoin 2.5 minutes. This rewards miners for their proof of work. It signals to the world that real work and resources like electricity have been spent on the Bitcoin network. If there was only one computer mining for Bitcoins, or any other cryptocurrency like Litecoin, then that miner would control 100% of the hashing power. However, as Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have become very valuable in the marketplace, many, many more miners and mining pools around the world have joined the party. Tons of miners, people. Getting on board, getting on the Litecoin train. That's what this looks like. That's what's going on there. In search of earning those Bitcoins or Litecoins inside the block reward. This is one reason why it said that Bitcoin is decentralized. This is one reason why it said Litecoin is decentralized. As more and more miners compete for the block reward, the hash rate, mining calculations, and block difficulty will increase. This increase in the network's hash rate over time means an increase in the network's security. So that's it. There's more to it. You can read about it, but it really truly is simple when you just kind of look at the charts, look at the hash rate chart, and get a really clear explanation of what's going on there. And so we can see that right now, in terms of hash rate and computing power, Litecoin has all-time high security. And that's important. That's extremely important. And I think there is something to be said to the fact that in that last bear market, and we can go to all-time high, and on the screen, that would be, we look at May 2015 a lot. That would be right around here. Nothing really happening. But something's happening this time around as Litecoin leads itself out of this bear market. So really interesting data point to look at. And I wanted to really just start this video with that. So that's that. In other news, I did tweet. I said, really thinking about getting a Tesla because I'm at that point where I'm going to be getting a new car, and I do keep thinking about a Tesla. And then I thought, Elon Musk, can I pay you with Litecoin? And dude, get on there and retweet that. I would love if Elon Musk would answer that tweet. He should. I said, or do you only accept Dogecoin? Because didn't he have like last week that he was the founder on his Twitter, or ex-founder or something? So Poseidon Lou, I think, told me never to get a Tesla. But I really, there's just something about it. Let's go to the charts. I'm going to go to the charts. Timestamp, 10 minutes. Boom. Charts zoomed out. Okay. This is the weekly chart for Litecoin. So I'm not going to dig into last night's video. Obviously, what we were talking about was simple. We broke through on Litecoin back in that last bear market, that 50 moving average, and we came back down and we revisited it, right? And at the same time, what was Bitcoin doing on its weekly charts? Well, Bitcoin was getting resistance at the 50 moving average on the weekly, similar to here. So all signs point to the fact that, pairing that up with how overbought we are, we're probably going to retrace back down, similar to that last bear market. That's simply, what we talked about in last night's video. We dug into that, but that's what we talked about. So now going back to Litecoin, what I want to talk about is a bullish scenario for Litecoin, right? So let's do it. Litecoin scenario where it continues going up at this point. The first thing that I want to look at is the daily chart for Litecoin. And this isn't just, right now we're looking at 2015, and I should just put that real quick. So this is the 2015 chart that we just saw on the weekly. It's zoomed in on the daily. And this is very true and consistent with a majority of Bitcoin and Litecoin pullbacks, right? After seeing beautiful gains, these pullbacks that happen tend to happen when they come out of that overbought area. They tend to happen very quickly. And I got to read these messages quick when they come in. So, Weird Wendell, get those kids in the foundation into foosball. Good, clean fun for a lifetime. Point 2, Litecoin. Wendell, thank you so much. Everybody, all super chats are going to LAUNCHPAD Foundation. And I did the math last night, and it seems in the last month, through super chats, we've raised around $400. I mean, that's not bad. That's really not, that's like pretty sick. That's pretty awesome. And so I'm gonna put something together. I want to match these super chats and also donate. So I want to work out something on the website to be able to track all this, but I want to let everybody know, because I know I said I would do it. I did do it. It's around $400. Some fiat and like 2.8 Litecoin in the last month. It's ridiculously awesome, and it's a huge blessing. So thank you, everybody. So typically when Litecoin gets these pullbacks, you see the pullback happens quickly, right? And that's what it looks like after hitting like that swing high. It's a very quick bounce. Not so often do you get it. Does it look like this? Not so often does it look like this, where now we're actually like kind of consolidating sideways here for quite a few days. This is the daily chart. Crypto Nana, thank Crypto Nana for MAGA. $4.99 super chat. Crypto's for good. Crypto Nana, thank you so much. I know who you are on Twitter. I appreciate you. Thank you for the LAUNCHPAD Foundation super chats. It means a lot. Huge blessing. It really does. So we're actually consolidating sideways, right? And that is something that you don't typically see on these huge, large pullbacks, right? It usually happens quickly, and you can just zoom out and look, right? Red day. Here's a big red day, and that pullback. And the other data point I want to look at in terms of that happening, I don't want to go to the 4-hour yet, is this. I want to go to the daily. So now we're back in the bear market. And I want to go to the RSI. So if we look at the RSI, and this is comparatively what we're talking about right now today. This is what it looked like then on the RSI. Obviously in the overbought area, we came back down, but just look at the correction in the RSI. Look at the correction when it hit that swing high and it was done, right? The markets were ready to come out of overbought. That's a massive dip within like 1 day on the RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator, updated and consolidated down to 50 very quickly, right? So if we're going to get a similar move like that, by now I would have anticipated something like that happening already. And it didn't happen. We didn't get that massive dip, at least yet, unless it's going to happen slower. We haven't gotten it. And what actually has happened in the last couple days is, yes, we got a retracement, but it's like, as of right now, it's almost just starting to look like it could potentially be just a higher high in a series of higher highs, right? Because we have these higher highs all year long on this RSI. We've been tracking them. Weekly chart, daily chart suggests this is the last higher high of this breakout. And we're going to have a pretty nice correction back down, consolidation. But right now, it hasn't happened right away, right? Like it did last time. And like it does often on the RSI, a huge consolidation, a huge correction back down. It hasn't happened yet. And in fact, right now, we kind of have a little bit of a momentum shift on the RSI on the daily happening on Litecoin. So like this correction that we've been talking about and looking at or anticipating based on last night's video, it just hasn't happened yet. And, I think it's normal for us to anticipate it happening quicker, because when you have such a steep rise in price in cryptocurrency, not just Litecoin, but Bitcoin, whatever, usually you have a very quick and immediate steep drop, right? And that's illustrated right here in that bear market that we've been comparing to where we are now. So it hasn't happened. And I just want to throw that out there. So that's like kind of that's that first case. If you're talking about oscillators, you're talking about the momentum of Litecoin, it's the first case, maybe a hint that Litecoin might have some steam still left in it to continue going up. Because right now, very important data point, besides just the RSI, and besides just you get the higher high and a short-term consolidation, what we'd be looking for, even if it goes down a little bit lower, still short-term consolidation, and then we'd be looking for a higher low, right? And then the continuation to the upside. And what this would do also on the stock RSI is it would continue to bring the stock RSI down as well. So the stock RSI already has come down below the overbought area, which is where we were, right? We were most certainly expecting that, but price hasn't come down that much as we were anticipating, right? To happen as quick as it did in the last bear market. And you can see that on the stock RSI as well. So this is what that looked like. Extremely oversold. And this is that scenario that we talked about last night. That's a nice area, right, to start thinking about, okay, I feel more comfortable accumulating after that dip, right? And we just haven't had that yet. So in terms of momentum, that's a case for Litecoin. So if we really talk about this, well, what could that look like? What could that look like on the shorter term, right? We look at the daily, we look at the weekly, we see how, okay, momentum could still be in Litecoin's favor. We have a little bit of room to the upside. Like, things could still go to the upside. Well, this is on the 4-hour, what I'm looking at that is truly the case for Litecoin to the upside. And it's very simple, right? I mean, we've been tracking, and actually I want to start here. This is the daily chart. So this is the pattern we've tracked for months, right? We've tracked this pattern for months. We've had this breakout target, the height of this rising wedge, for a while now. So whether we were back here and we were talking about our target was probably around $90 back in March, we're at a higher end of this wedge. Our breakout target is around $110. You can see it. It's the height of this long-term rising wedge. And this is definitely a case for Litecoin to say we didn't hit that target yet, 110, and we may very well hit it. And then maybe if we hit that, Litecoin will consolidate maybe a little bit more dramatically then, right? So if we get some more gains to like $110, $115 or whatever, and we hit this breakout target for this rising wedge pattern, and then we get our retracement, right? And then the RSI on the weekly and the daily, and then they come back down a little bit, and we get a retrace to $80, maybe even to the 50 moving average on the daily chart, down to $62. So our $60 target from last night could still happen, but it could actually happen from even a higher price. That is $110. So my whole point is Litecoin, if it does hit its targets, I truly believe is going to have a huge retracement. So whether that happens now, right, from this previous swing high, or if it happens at 110 after hitting this rising wedge targets, it's probably going to consolidate. Or we could live in a world where Litecoin just never goes down again, and it just goes up forever. But I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think that's going to happen. So this is a bullish chart, and it's a continuation for Litecoin to its target of around $110, $115. I think I saw a super chat. Kevin Smith, any charts on Digibyte? $2 super chat. I don't typically do Digibytes. I'm not like really a fan of Digibytes. I truly appreciate your $2 super chat for the Launchpad Foundation. If we get some more people in the chat that want to see a Digibyte chart, maybe I'll do it at the end. But I don't typically do it because I'm not long on Digibyte. And then we also have a $1 super chat from Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate the super chat for the Launchpad Foundation. And I appreciate you being here watching. I hope you have a great night. So $110 breakout target in play on the daily. Let's look at the 4-hour. How can that play out? This is how it could play out. We have our rising wedge. It's, I don't have it charted, but you can really see it pretty clearly. It's Litecoin working its way up to the breakout that we recently had right here, right? That was breaking out of the wedge that we just saw on the daily. So here's the breakout on the rising wedge on the daily chart, boom. And this is essentially where that happened on this chart, the 4-hour chart. So I have a lot of Fibonacci's on the screen right now. Let me try and expand this, make it a little bigger. And I want to talk about these. Before we talk about the Fibonacci retracements that you see these 4 indicators on the screen, I want to show you, like, if you see every little move that Litecoin made to the upside, right? Like there's one, here's one, boom. You can see after making a really nice move, Litecoin trades sideways, lets the 50 moving average kind of catch up to a little bit. We see support at the 50 moving average on the 4-hour, and then it keeps going. And so right now you see something very similar happening. Litecoin had to break above that rising wedge on the daily, and it kind of just since then has consolidated sideways. The 50 moving average has caught up to it, and now we're literally in this very hour and this very 4-hour candle testing the 50 moving average. If you want to take this video and you want something to watch, right, for actual true real-time data or support or whatever, this is it. This is what I use. You can certainly open up the hourly and find similar type of moving averages to watch for support. I just really like the 50 moving average. in terms of telling this story and how it's going to play out. I think if we get any type of break below the 50 moving average, that's going to be a bad sign for this bullish scenario, right? But if we get something similar with what we see in these recent breaks to the upside, like right here, consolidated towards the 50 moving average, see support, right? We're talking support at the 50 moving average on the 4-hour, or even back here, get that support at the 50 moving average on the 4-hour, then that's a good sign. So during these uptrends, right? And here's the Litecoin daily chart. These are higher highs that are creating this rising wedge pattern. Oh man, I missed a super chat from Anonymous. What was the super chat from Anonymous? Can anybody let me know? 999 super chat from Poseidon Lou. Dude, thank you, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'm like the worst live streamer because I missed these. Anonymous, if you're out there, I'm going to find out what your super chat was for. 0.5 Litecoin from Anonymous. And I think I missed the message too. If you wrote a message, I'm so sorry. It means so much. But I can go back and rewatch the replay of the video. So thank you so much, Anonymous, for your point. I mean, that's legit. 0.5. We're over 3 Litecoin for the last 30 days, just about easily. And Anonymous, you're a huge part of that. We've got $4.99 from John Luke Pollock. I'm proud of you for still making videos throughout this entire bear market. First time catching a stream while live. Keep up the great work, man. Dude, John Luke, proud of me. That's extremely humbling just to kind of read a comment like that and a $4.99 super chat. It's extremely humbling to do these live streams and hang out with you guys and you say something like that. And it's also encouraging. It encourages me, gives me energy to continue doing these live streams. So, John Luke, thanks for catching a live stream, dude. Thank you for the words. Thank you for the super chat. And you're awesome. I hope you have an amazing night. Samir with stinking $9.99 super chat. Pullbacks are healthy. Sooner or later, glad to be back home in the States. LPAD. Amen. $9.99 super chat, Samir. Glad to have you back in the States. And Samir, I completely 100% agree. I get worried when we don't get pullbacks, right? So I agree that they're healthy. They're needed, especially if we want the longevity of gains. We need to see pullbacks. So, I mean, right now, since that swing high, we have gotten around 15%, right? So we can't dismiss that. We have gotten 15% pullback. That's kind of small, in my opinion. But what it has done on the daily chart, it's brought this RSI down just a bit to around the 70 area, and we've definitely been brought back down on the stock RSI. So momentum, it hasn't. We didn't just slam back down quickly. So we slowly consolidated back down, maybe getting a reset in terms of momentum. And so I'm really, really curious to see if this is a consolidation for further upside. So speaking more to that, this is the higher highs, higher lows. It's just a rising wedge. There is another rising wedge within this rising wedge. We tracked it when it was happening, right? We obviously hit our breakout target for that one, but not yet for this longer term rising wedge. But we've definitely always had that target in mind. So currently around $110. It might be a little bit over $110. And this is what we see in a rising wedge with Fibonacci. Often we get this move to the 1.618 on the Fibonacci. And you can see it, right? So what you do is you take the swing high, right? So I'm going to do this one for example. Let's make it nice and big. So you take swing high, which was, for this data point we're talking about, January 19th. We can take this swing low, which was it was January 8th to 22nd. Swing high, swing low, Litecoin starts consolidating around the 50 moving average, starts moving up, And where did it see its first like true resistance? Right at that 1618. Right below the 1618. But you can see it 1618, boom, and then kind of sideways towards the 50 moving average. And then we can take that swing high if we will. Or we could take this swing high to that swing low. Support at the 50 moving average. And where do we see resistance? The 1.618 again. And it's often what you see in rising wedges, right? It's the beauty of numbers. It's the beauty of Fibonacci retracement. And I think, did I just miss another super chat? Sam LTC. Sam LTC with a 1999 super chat. And Sam LTC, that's definitely, I think, a new name. And he wrote 20. I think he was talking about the super chat. So Sam, thank you so much. Thank you. Unless you change your screen name, you seem like you're new here. I don't feel like I've seen you in the comments much, but awesome screen name. I'm sure most here would love or do love your screen name. Thank you so much for the super chat. Going to LAUNCHPAD Foundation means a lot. It's exciting, everybody. When it's something that's not benefiting me, it makes it's way different. When these super chats aren't going into my pocket, everybody, I want you to know how much that means to me. And we're doing something, like we're doing something together. And it excites me. 999 super chat from Poseidon Lou, dude. Thanks, Benji, for the super chat. Did I miss a Benji super chat? Oh my goodness. I missed a Benji super chat, didn't I? Benji, if you're out there, I love you, dude. I'm sorry I missed your super chat. I need to go back and watch this replay. I have to have a second screen up so that I can see these come in without looking over here. What a bummer. Benji. Pound, dude. Thank you. Thank you, man. So the beauty of numbers, right? The beauty of Fibonacci. And so here we are. You know, we have our most previous swing high here. What do we hit? Like $98. I truly thought we were about to break $100. Even if for a minute, I thought it was going to happen. And it didn't. And we have right now consolidation to the downside to the 50 moving average. Familiar story, everybody, right? Familiar story. And where's the 1.618? I love how it always just, so many indicators just circle back to each other. They're so in line with each other. It's ridiculous. So the 1618 here is right around $108, right? And what's our target for a breakout to the upside on this rising wedge? Around $110. So clearly we have a huge area of potential breakout resistance around the $110 area, right? So there's two things that are playing into that. We have this daily target that we just talked about, and we have 4-hour moves that play into that price target extremely well in the 4-hour. And so that would be our next leg up, in my opinion, around $110. And it's insane. It really is insane that it is a possibility, but it just is. It's a possibility. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think that will happen, but it's a possibility. And these are the things that make these decisions very tough when you're trying to figure out what you want to do in terms of your portfolio and accumulating. Should you buy more? All those questions that everybody has in the market. And everybody's in a completely different scenario, right? So the charts just don't always work for everybody, but the data is the same for everybody. And so we can at least all take our time when we have these moments of consolidation to really formulate our plan that we feel most comfortable about. And that's at the end of the day what we're looking for, something to feel extremely comfortable about in terms of our portfolio. I know some people trading. I know some people taking a little bit of risk out there. You know who you are right now. I think you're in this live stream. I know who you are. And I also know that you're comfortable with what you're doing. And that's extremely important. Rob, I did just see a comment that said that Foundation Link seems like it's corrupt. I gotta fix that. I think my SSL might have expired with GoDaddy. I will fix it. I'll fix it tomorrow. Actually, I could probably fix it tonight. But thanks for bringing it to my attention, everybody. We definitely need that to be secure. I think that would be important. I think it's actually really important. So that's it, everybody. That's the bullish scenario for Litecoin. Currently, we're talking from $89 to that target. We would be talking around a 22% or so, potentially 25% to the upside. But one thing I do know is this is awesome. To see Litecoin growth in terms of hash rate is awesome. And if you notice on the all-time chart, what's happening with Litecoin? It just keeps growing. And there's really not much of a pullback in terms of hash rate. Litecoin network in general just keeps growing. If there's any indicator long term that helps you feel comfortable with this technology, this particular technology, Litecoin, this particular cryptocurrency, Litecoin, this is it. This is huge. This is foundational. This is something that not many cryptocurrencies have right here on the screen. And Litecoin has it. It's one reason it's one of my favorite cryptocurrencies. So we didn't get this. To wrap it all up, we didn't get this massive pullback from this previous swing high to $98. It didn't happen. Instead, we got kind of this slow consolidation, bringing momentum of Litecoin back down, potentially resetting things for further upside, which you see on the 4-hour playing out, could play out. So if you're out there and you want to track this, please, everybody, you can pull up the 4-hour. You can go to tradingview.com, pull up the 4-hour, get that 50 moving average, this blue line I have here, and track it. Because currently we have some, for around a day, 2, 4, 6 support right at that 50 moving average. That's a bullish sign. That is a short-term bullish sign. I just want to throw that out there. So this video is the bullish scenario for Litecoin. And I hope you enjoyed it after last night's bearish video talking about a $60 Litecoin, which, by the way, is still in play. So I didn't need to be the one to break that news to you that Litecoin could go up or down. That's one truth that remains the same. So if we check out LTC BTC pair, you can see the gains. You can see the gains. Litecoin defying gravity on the BTC pair. How long will it last? Man, I do not know. Digibyte, and then I'll do Litecoin Cash. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing Litecoin Cash. Digibyte's in a very interesting area. Let's go to the daily. Look at Digibyte. Press 1 if you're into Digibyte and holding Digibyte and you like Digibyte. Press 1 if you think Digibyte is going to see some gains. I'd be curious to know your thoughts. One, not holding though. 2, so I've mentioned on this channel before, like I like Digibyte to kind of just trade it a little bit. And what I mean by that is I think Digibyte is great to buy the dips. And then since I'm not a long-term holder, I really don't care about holding long, selling, when prices back up, right? because you can see some nice gains. And just to give you an example, this last area at the 50 moving average on the daily chart, after days down, I mean, we were down almost 25%. We see this daily candle. No problem, Kevin Smith. It's all for you, dude. You got that super chat. I gotta cover Digibyte real quick. So this is like a scenario. It'd be great. I didn't trade this. I didn't buy Digibyte here. This would have been great. I don't even know. I don't remember if I was watching this or not. Support at the 50 moving average after 22% dip. That's a great play for Digibyte, right? And then from there, Digibyte saw 45%. Those are the types of things within Digibyte that I like to see. So really interesting area for Digibyte. So from my perspective, right? First off, if you're long on Digibyte and you think big things are ahead for Digibyte, it's under 2 cents. So if I was long on Digibyte, I'd be buying a lot of Digibyte. On the short term, I definitely would be looking to watch what happens here at this 50 moving average. You know, whether that's tomorrow, today, a week from now, I really would like to see that tested again. In terms of what I would do next for accumulation. So, but ridiculously cheap, under 2 cents for Digibyte. So if you're long on it, I think it looks good. Script, Skynet, iMine, Digibyte, and LTC. Bittrex has very little volume for Digibyte. Let's look at the weekly. The thing about Digibyte that scares me right now, and this is why I like holding Bitcoin and Litecoin. I don't mind if they dip, but if Bitcoin and Litecoin dip, if Bitcoin dips big, we get a retracement. Digibyte is going to tank, right? So in terms of this stock RSI alone on the weekly chart, buying now is definitely risky, especially when the whole markets are this overbought. So if I were to accumulate Digibytes, I probably just wouldn't be doing it right now. I would really be on the lookout for this next dip, which is what I'm doing for Bitcoin and Litecoin anyway. 4-hour chart. It's hard because it's weird. I'm just so not used to looking at Digibyte charts. I like to study charts and find consistencies and patterns and moves, and like it's all foreign to me right now. I just never look at Digibyte charts. And the other thing is, amidst Bitcoin gains, I shouldn't say like Litecoin, because Litecoin has kind of been leading Bitcoin in moves, but Digibyte follows Bitcoin tremendously in its own moves. So I think it's way more important to track Bitcoin if you want to figure out what to do with your Digibyte stance. Mexican Charlie Lee said, Dan, do you like Cardano? I do. I do like Cardano, but there was a time when I got rid of it and decided to not be as long on Cardano. I do. So if I had to choose Digibyte or Cardano to go long on, it would be Cardano. And yes, Mexican Charlie, you're right. Digibyte does its own thing a lot of the time. And I think back here in December, that was one of those awesome times for Digibyte, 70% gains in December. So yeah, I mean, everybody, you kind of have to, you have to really understand for yourself just what cryptocurrencies you're long on and why you're long on it. And then it gets way easier to read the charts. I think it's definitely harder for me to read the charts when I don't have that interest in the actual cryptocurrency. And no offense to anybody that is long in Digibyte, but I think the biggest thing right now for me for Digibyte would be that 50 moving average on the daily chart. I'd be extremely keen and interested to see what happens just over a penny, right? 12 cents down here if we get a retracement. So currently like 14 cents. What's going to happen? Digibyte goes to 12 cents. If we see support in that area and I was to think about accumulating and buying Digibyte, that's where I would do it, right in that area. So to the downside, we'd be looking at around 10% to the downside. And it really, truly depends on what the rest of the market is doing. It truly does. 1.2 cents. Did I say 12 cents? F-150 says, Cardano looking strong. David Schwartz is in the building. David Schwartz said, sorry I'm late. Litecoin Foundation project director is late. David, we don't allow that here on Crypto Capital Venture. I love David, man. David is such a good guy and extremely bright. A pioneer for the Litecoin community. Hope everyone is having a good time. David, reconsider going to, and actually I'll end with this, everybody. I don't know if anybody's on the East Coast, but I asked David Schwartz earlier if he's going to go to the, what is it? The conference that Charlie Lee's doing, Magical Crypto Conference in New York in April. I think it's in May. It's in May, but I believe I'm going. And y'all should get tickets. Y'all should get tickets and go. And David Schwartz, if you're still here, gotta figure out a way to get you. I want to hang out with you, man. I really do. Just want to chill. So, everybody, that's it. Look into the Magical Crypto Conference. Think about getting tickets. Think about going. It's going to be epic. There's a lot of really good speakers there. Charlie Lee, obviously. Script Skynet says, Dan, what can we anticipate for Litecoin to bounce off of? Because I want to buy a bunch. If you would have just asked me what do we expect LTC to bounce off of, I probably would have answered it. But now that I know it might influence your decision, I don't think I'm going to answer it. I didn't think that was. Let's go to 4 hour. So, I mean, we kind of just talked about it, right? Simply, it's not so much a bounce. It's more of what we'd be looking for now is kind of sideways consolidation. Yeah, it's right around consensus in New York, but it's way less expensive. Just so everybody knows. So it's not so much we're looking for a bounce, right? It's not like, oh, we touch a point, which in this scenario is a 50 moving average on the 4 hour. It's more of what happens at that data point that we're watching for support. And that is the 50 moving average. So what's going to happen in the coming days? That's why I said, everybody, keep your charts open. If you're really interested on the shorter time frame, keep your charts open, because when we get these bumps, we get these moves to the upside with Litecoin, what happens is from swing high, right? That 1618 that we talked about, which is usually like a swing high to swing low on the Fibonacci up to 1618 resistance to the next swing high, plays out very often. Litecoin meets and consolidates right along this blue 50 moving average on the 4 hour, right? That's kind of what it does on these rising wedges. So a bump up, consolidates sideways right into that 50 moving average. And it wasn't necessarily a quick bounce off of that 50 moving average, right? It took days of consolidation and support at the 50 moving average until it continued up. So in the same way, what I'm looking at and what I think everybody should be looking at is a similar move for Litecoin. We had this revisit to right below, I believe, the 1618 on Fibonacci, right, for resistance. And we've consolidated sideways to the 50 moving average. So keep an eye on that. You asked that question, so keep an eye on that. Not will it bounce right now, right? But is support going to hold on this chart, the 4-hour chart above the 50 moving average? Dan, if you were an employee somewhere, would you? I can't even think of being an employee somewhere, David. I just can't do it. I can't. Would you ever want like 10% of your actual pay in crypto? And by the way, everybody, there's nothing wrong with being an employee somewhere. I haven't been an employee somewhere for like, I don't even know how long. So long. And it's hard to picture. Would you ever want like 10% of your actual pay in crypto? If the Dan of right now was an employee somewhere, I would want probably like more than 10% of my pay to be in crypto. That's a great question. I wonder why you're asking that. David, what are you thinking, dude? What are you thinking out there, man? That's another thing about David Schwartz, everybody. Litecoin project director, for anybody here that doesn't know. The dude has a mind of his own. He's always whipping up these things, these analogies, these questions, these ideas, which I guess if you're looking for somebody that can pinpoint partnerships, that can make things happen in terms of Litecoin adoption, David Schwartz is like a perfect candidate for that, right? So you can see him in the chat. He's doing something. He's thinking something. And that's a brilliant mind. It's a very important, innovative approach to what we need in cryptocurrency, Litecoin adoption in particular. So you gotta, all right, whenever whatever you're thinking comes to fruition, you gotta message me and let me know what you're thinking, because I love that idea. It's a great idea. But heck yeah. All right, everybody, I'm just rambling now, and it's been a long live stream. Super chatters, I don't know what to say. In the last 30 days, as of last night, it was around $400. I think as of tonight, we might be at like $500 in the last month for the LAUNCHPAD Foundation. You guys are awesome. And I mark my words, I will match that. And I just truly am grateful for everybody. There's so many awesome things happening right now. And in terms of the price, keep an eye on the 4-hour. I don't know what else to tell you. This is the bullish scenario for Litecoin. Will it come to fruition? I don't know, and nobody in the world does. But it's very, very fun to watch. It's very, very fun and entertaining to talk about 50 moving average supports, or will the 4-hour break through that 50 moving average? Keep an eye on it, everybody. Thank you so much for coming by. I love all you, and I hope you have an amazing night. And as always, I will see you in the next video. God bless.